It's that time of year again, Valentine's Day. Spoiler alert, I'm not the biggest fan of this holiday. That being said, I thought I'd throw together a video of the 10 couples that I think really get the picture. Now just to be clear, this is not a list of couples I would like to see, or, oh, I think Harry Potter and Snape should go together. No. These are 10 actual relationships that I think are a great example of how romance should be, whether it be from a movie, television show, or video game. Just keep in mind, it's all opinion. Duh. So, without further ado, here's my top 10 fictional couples. Number 10. Han Solo and Leia Organa. This was one of the first movies I watched as a child where the hero didn't get the girl. Sure, you expect Luke to rescue the damsel and fall in love in A New Hope, but with Empire Strikes Back, we saw the real romance shine. Han Solo is a cocky bounty hunter and pilot of the Millennium Falcon. He takes no shit and shoots first. When Princess Leia and Solo first cross paths, he doesn't pamper her or treat her kindly. He treats her like she's a nuisance and she can't stand the sight of him. It was like a throwback to those old Western films. The progression of these characters and how their romance blossoms is just so subtle and well performed. Unlike a certain other romance from a galaxy far, far away, I think the moment that really nailed it was when Han was getting cryogenically frozen. The exchange between the two of them is perfect. And then there's this line.
I love you.
I know.
It's actually one of the best improv lines in cinema. Not originally in the script, actor Harrison Ford made the decision that the line didn't fit the character and wanted to go with something else. The end result? A powerful and emotional scene. Not corny, not sappy, just perfect for Star Wars. Number 9. Will and Elizabeth. Now most of my points come from The Curse of the Black Pearl, but although the other movies are bumpy, to say the least, there's still some hints of that fantastic chemistry. So let's start from the beginning. Will and Elizabeth grew up as childhood friends. She found him floating on a raft and snatched up his medallion to hide his pirate nature from her father. He became the local blacksmith when he grew up, and she became, well, a fine woman. You can see the affection she has for him right from the start, but Will doesn't see himself as worthy of courting the daughter of Governor Swan. Having too much respect for her political background, he prefers to shackle his feelings and shy away from her contact. Psst, fellas, don't do this. Luckily for him, she gets peached and his true feelings battle with his shallow feelings. Throughout his journey with Jack, he learns to accept and be proud of who he is, and that he is worthy of Elizabeth's hand. It's complex, but it never feels like a soap opera. Let's talk about one movie at a time. His feelings are challenged in one scene when he discovers that Elizabeth had been hiding the medallion from him. She did it with good intentions, sure, but it leaves Will to question if who he really is not what Elizabeth wants. This leads him to make a very stupid decision near the end.
If you were waiting for the opportune moment, that was it.
Listen to Jack there, buddy. Luckily, by the end of it all, he accepts who he is and hopes Elizabeth does the same. She does, and we move on to the sequels. First off, a change of roles occur in Dead Man's Chest. This time, Will is captured and Elizabeth has to go rescue him. Then we got this awkward love triangle thing going on that causes some big tension on their relationship due to a misunderstanding, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I'm much more fond of this conflict. When Will learns more about the Flying Dutchman and the curse that his father is bound to, he is left with a very heavy decision. He can either free his father and rule as captain in Davy Jones' stead, or he can marry Elizabeth and live a peaceful and more common life upon Port Royal. And I have to say, this is a great conflict. It's interesting when the characters have to choose between their destinies and the one they love. It's a nice change of pace. Sometimes life itself is going to try to separate the two of you, and you're going to be tested on how strong that bond is. Torn between his promise to his father and his chance to be with Elizabeth, Will goes through a tremendous character arc, and Elizabeth goes through hers. Number 8. Nathan Drake and Elena Fisher. Despite my onslaught of videos expressing my love of Nintendo and JRPGs and Disney, there's a soft spot I have for Uncharted. After the terrible Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Uncharted was what filled that gap that Indiana Jones left in my heart. Speaking of heart, just look at these two lovebirds. Zaw, they have playful banter and she finishes his sentences. How cute! The chemistry between these two is amazing. You can tell Drake has to keep a balance between being his sarcastic and witty self and showing how much he actually cares for her. As the series progresses, you really see that spark between the two of them. I was worried when I checked out the demo for Among Thieves. I noticed our protagonist was going James Bond and had another lovely female partner. Don't get me wrong, Chloe is awesome and I do miss that ass, but Elena will always make sense as the right mate for Drake in the Uncharted trilogy. What? There's another title? The Vita? Who the hell plays that shit? Number 7. Howard and Bernadette. Ah, The Big Bang Theory. The show that turned nerds into jocks of their own league. Kinda. Anywho, there was clearly only one choice I had to go with here. Penny and Leonard? No, that's more complex for rating's sake. Amy and Sheldon? No, that's a beast of its own. So Howard and Bernadette it is. I mean, think about it. From the first few seasons, you had no idea this creepy, goofy, living in his mother's basement kind of guy would end up with a woman. And paint my ass and call me your Rafiki, it is actually done well. The two have their odd similarities, and then there's the fact that she's weeding out the pervertish creeper Howard and turning him into a more likable character. But she's not all sunshine and rainbows herself, which makes her more interesting. Sure, she may come off as the sweet and dainty quiet girl, but she does seem to have this Emily Rose side of the coin as well.
We all got ordained! They're all marrying us! It's adorable! If you want to hear, come closer!
You know you got a good couple when you can make this, do this. They have their ups and downs, but they seem the most level-headed of the entire group. Howard and Bernadette, you two make a cute couple. Number 6. Belle and Beast. Now, calm down, Beast. A lot of other couples didn't even make this list. I know, it may seem like blasphemy, but there are just a few couples that I prefer over Belle and the Beast. But we'll get to them later. Right now, let's tell the tale as old as time. You all know the story of Beauty and the Beast, and you can tell all the Stockholm Syndrome jokes till your face turns blue, but it still won't overshadow the pure chemistry that is seen with these two. Definitely the best Disney couple, Belle slowly sees the man within the Beast, as the Beast slowly becomes more humane himself. He starts off finding her nosy and as a bit of a pest, and she sees him as well, a beast. But after saving her life, and having her recover him in return, the two hit it off. It's a wonderful transition watching the Beast grow more selfless to express his affection, but we're not yet convinced if he's doing this for her, or to help his own needs. That is until this scene. The Beast realizes that her happiness is more important than breaking his curse, and he lets her go. Just look at how much pain he is going through as he utters those words. He is willing to sacrifice the chance of him being a human and being with her, and he sticks by it. He believes she is gone forever, but true love always finds a way. The amount of change he goes through is the highlight of the film. You go from being terrified to you yourself falling in love with the Beast. Number 5. Farah and the Prince. Another incredible relationship that you wouldn't expect from first impressions. The Prince is a real stuck-up and immature character who refuses to listen to reason, making a fool out of the lady Farah and unleashing the sands of time. He has to live with this mistake and try to fix it. The banter these two have throughout sections of the game is cleverly written. Once again, the two start out hating each other.
For very fair reasons, he did screw up the entire kingdom.
But as the game progresses, their romance grows. She's also a very helpful character to have alongside, and isn't annoying like most sidekicks and helpers. The chemistry in the film is decent, of course, but the one in the game is much more memorable. Because of that, it gets the number 5 spot. Number 4. Link and Zelda. I'm giving these two the number 4 spot for one game, Skyward Sword. Any other Zelda game, and it's speculation or wishful thinking, but in Skyward Sword, it's obviously a romance. Zelda is no longer a royal princess, but Link's childhood friend, and very much the yin to his yang. She's funny, realistic, and just adorable. She sees Link as a better person than he leads people to believe, and has to push him to exceed everyone's expectations. Literally. What works so well about the romance is not that it's sappy, bloated, or drawn out, like most terrible romances. It's more charming and heartfelt. You don't need words to see how much these two care about each other. Look at those eyes, my God, look at them. Have you ever seen a character go through so much pain from just a facial expression? Every move you make in this game is done with this determination. You feel compelled to save Zelda, and I was always eager to see her face after I cleared a tough dungeon, just to know that she's okay. It's odd that people dismiss the chance of them being together because they do not share a kiss or Zelda does not put out, as people like to say. Is that really necessary to show though? The nice thing about the romance is how subtle it is. They aren't announcing their love in front of an entire group, they're not making a scene, they're just two people that really care about one another. You can see it all in their actions. So yes, Zelda and Link make a fantastic couple. Well done, Nintendo. Number 3. Blumiere and Timpani. You really would not expect a game about Mario to have a fantastic love story. But let me tell you, the love story in Super Paper Mario touched my soul. It wasn't just fantastic, it was remarkable, and it's a damn shame this game doesn't get the attention it deserves. And no, it's not between Mario and Peach. So what's the story? Well, Blumiere is a being of darkness who comes across a pure maiden named Timpani, who nurses him back to health. The two spend time together and fall in love, but have to keep it secret, seeing as he is a being of the Dark Tribe, and she is one of the Light Tribe. When Blumiere's father catches wind of this, he banishes her to another dimension and destroys her body. Furious that the only woman he loved is gone, Blumiere manifests the Dark Prognosticus and uses it to erase his entire race. He transforms into the nefarious Count Bleck, then develops a scheme to summon the Chaos Heart and erase all existence, since he believes that if Timpani cannot exist, nothing will. What's fantastic about this story is that it's all done through text. After each chapter, you get a small piece of this romantic masterpiece. Everything that plays off this backstory is intelligent systems hitting it right out of the park. Tackling themes like trying to live on without the one you love, using the weaknesses of others to your advantage, and that love conquers all is very bold for a Nintendo game, but it soars through with flying colors. The ending was touching, to say the least. I really cared about these characters, and the music bounding through time succeeded in tugging at my heartstrings. If you haven't played Super Paper Mario, you're missing out. Different from the sequels? Sure, but deep down, it's one of the best morals in a video game. Number 2. Carl and Ellie. I doubt there's anything I could add that would be fresh compared to why everyone else loves this couple, but I just want to say this to me is what love should be. You get their entire marriage told in 3 short minutes, to one of the most captivating pieces of music to ever grace my ears, and you're hooked. This intro is bold, truthful, and flawless. It shows everything, the good parts, the bad parts, the happy moments, and the sad moments, and it all just clicks. Through each instance, you see this indescribable spark that not even Beauty and the Beast could capture. It's been a while since I've been choked up from a movie, but this one gave me the misty eyes. Nothing more can be said. It's beautiful, respectful, and I guarantee, timeless. And the number 1 romantic couple is Princess Buttercup and Wesley. And can it really be anything else? There's a reason this is one of the greatest love stories ever told. The movie is engaging for both boys and girls, but growing up, even the romance is engaging for me. Sure, there are some corny elements, but the pieces that work really work. For one thing, through the first half of the movie, it seems to be your typical rescue the damsel in distress. But the tables kind of turn on the second half, and now Buttercup must overcome her own trials. The fact that the two of them really have to put in their all to be together is captivating. The story balances the romance with humor, suspense, action, and other common film elements, and they all come together surprisingly well. There's a nice touch between the character difference of Dread Pirate Roberts and Wesley. Not only is his face and name hidden by this alter ego, but also his doubts and insecurities. With this disguise, he is able to do things Wesley wouldn't normally do, like telling off his beloved princess. This makes the relationship more real, but it never comes off as overblown or pretentious. Just two people who love each other, and they'll take down anything that threatens to separate the two. Well, I hope you enjoyed my list. If your favorite couple didn't make the list, they suck. Kidding. Only kidding. In fact, leave a comment explaining what couple you would have added and why you think they make a good couple. I'm curious what you think. Have a good holiday, everyone, and I hope you all find the buttercup to your Wesley someday. Or the Wesley to your buttercup. Or the Wesley to your Wesley, if you swing that way.